We are sinking more and more money into this, and more you pull a plug on one thing and 5 things backfire. And that's the way it works in technology. But I can tell you from a business perspective, my company uses a web-based software. We have 3 backup locations. So if one server goes down one place, half hour later, another server in another part of the country picks it up. And we don't seem to have that built into our infrastructure. And as we sink more money into our infrastructure, it's getting more and more unreasonable. And when the website for the school district goes down for hours on end, and you don't even send an alert now message to parents, I know it's off season, but there are things on that website that kids need for AP classes for the summer, and we don't let anybody know.
Mrs. Herring, has that been occurring throughout the school year?
Yes.
Can you estimate grossly about how many hours or how many days?
I know one day in particular, my daughter told me she came into building, the internet went down at about 7:30 in the morning, it didn't come out till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I know specifically because she was sitting in class sending me text messages saying, Mom, it's still not back up, it's still not back up.
And what were the students doing during that downtime?
Honestly, if she was texting me, I don't think she was doing what she should have been doing, which was learning. And I asked.
I think we have a problem here that needs to be addressed. Number one, we were never alerted to this. I mean, we paid a lot of money for this infrastructure, and our whole curriculum now is being based on technology. We get alerts when a bus has been bumped, but we're not getting alerts about that. I'm a little disappointed. We can't fix it if we don't know it.
Yeah. Sue Furlong, West Rock Hill Township. I've had a couple of problems with the web and the fact that when I press on a button to go back and look at minutes, for instance, I get activities when I'm looking for something else. And so anyway, I did send an email in, so hopefully that'll get fixed. I think it's the second time I brought it up. But anyway, the real reason I got up here is to say that if I go to Staples and I'm walking around, I'm looking at the shelves, and I pick up a box, and it's got Microsoft in it, or it's got Photoshop in it, or it has some thrilling game in it, which I don't typically buy. That is a piece of software. It's known as intellectual property. It is not known as a service. If I have somebody key in my data to my Excel program, that is a service. If I have somebody move my computer around for me, that is a service. But the thing that comes in the box, software, is intellectual property. It can be capitalized. And if I'm buying 2 similar products, they're competing for, what kind of service will I get out of each product. So if I have a lease that's 3 years and I'm paying 60 grand a year, I can capitalize that portion of it that is software. Now, when I have this company type in all of my students' names, that's a service that they just provided. When I have them come down here and train my teachers, that is a service that they have provided. They could do perhaps separate billing. But the software is an intellectual property piece. And I just think that maybe our council should be aware of that so that he gives us good advice as to what should be bid out and not bid out. Go to Staples, look at the little boxes. They have intellectual property inside with license agreements, and they're as real as this podium right here. It's just that they're little tiny things on a disc.
And the point I would make is that what I view that, and I'm not talking to you specifically, Ms. Furlong, you don't have to stay up there. I'm not trying to have a dialogue with you, but I want to be the person advising my client, and all due respect, I'm not advising you, you're not my client. What the district is purchasing when it purchases something like Linkit or something similar is expertise, in my view, in a highly specialized field. It's not purchasing something like plumbing hardware, where the specifications are extraordinarily unique or require some great specialized knowledge or skill. And that's no disrespect to folks who manufacture plumbing hardware. It's just different. And so my view is that software and the service which backs it up, which the district is purchasing here, support, maintenance, expertise, implementation expertise, falls within the professional service exception in my view.
I'll agree with you on the installation. I'll agree with you on the installation, the keying, the training, those are all services. Software is a product, it's known as a property. I do recall the evening that you used making a chair as an example, and that the person that had the expertise to make the chair was providing the service of making a chair, therefore the chair was a service. Not many people probably remember that. It just boggled my mind that anybody would say that, so it always stuck out in my mind.
I don't remember ever saying that.
Well, you did. All right, thank you.
Any other comments? I'm sorry.
I think I would be remiss if I didn't make this comment in regards to the comment that was made about the humanities classes, and if the server was down, if the internet was not available. Teachers at Pennridge do not rely solely on technology, and if in fact the internet wasn't working that day and the students couldn't use that one day, I'm certain that the students were still learning. We don't depend solely on the technology. Certainly we do depend on the technology, and we are moving in that direction, but the teachers would clearly continue teaching if we didn't have it. The second point is, in terms of your question, Mrs. Miller, or your concern with how many times the internet went down. Very valid question, and I'm sure that Mr. Toretto can put that information together and get that to the board.
Yeah, we'd like to get that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, before I close the meeting, I just want to say that the next combined facilities and finance meeting is scheduled for August 3rd. So that's it. I guess we can move on to the special meeting.
Okay.